Jamal Lascelles, Carl Darlow, and you're watching Newcastle Fans TV.
Hello everyone, welcome to the review where we'll be looking back at the lineups, the game. We'll hear from Rafa Benitez as well. I'll look at the league table included in the video today. Right, so let's crack on with it. Let's have a look at Crystal Palace's side first of all. So on the whiteboard, which is just behind us, we got 10 out of 11 right here. The only one we didn't, which was a little bit surprising, is we've seen Sacco on the bench and we've seen Martin Kelly start. We know that Kelly went off injured and Sacco came on later on, but all in all, there wasn't massive surprises for us in Palace's lineup. Looking at Newcastle's, Hoslu fell ill. That's the reason why he wasn't in the matchday squad at all. And then he went with Gale up top, Perez in the 10, Kennedy left, Richie right, Shelvey and Diarm in the middle, and then the back four picked themselves. I did think that Manquillo would start at right back, but he went with Yedlin, who dealt with Zaha okay at times. So the first half, you know, we're seeing a couple of errors from our centre-backs. Lascelles in the first 8 minutes, and then Van Aanholt plays in, Benteke in, Darlow does well. And it was a sign of things to come, in particular in second half. Newcastle were trying to get things together and will gradually come out, you know. Then Kennedy was getting a lot more of the ball. We scored through the corner. Kennedy's corner is taken low. Perez gets a little prod on it. Maybe it's blocked. I haven't seen many camera angles, but Mo Diarmi loses Martin Kelly. And then he prods home to put Newcastle, he's unmarked, puts Newcastle 1-0 up. A fantastic start from the Geordies. Newcastle went on to have a couple of chances as well. You know, we've seen you know, Kennedy on the left cut in back on his right foot. Hennessy does well to save it, a block it, very similar to Darlow save earlier on. Falls back to Ayoze Perez on the edge of the box, goes for the curler. Hennessy saves as well. But Newcastle going in at half time, we said, yeah, I'll take it leading. But Palace had several opportunities, missed opportunities as well. You can see why they're down the bottom with us. They're just not taking their chances in particular as well. You know, you're seeing just before half time a double deflection which Darlow has to save, and Benteke for me has to score just before half time where it hits off his chest. For me, that's got to go in the back of the net. Now coming in the second half, we're seeing an early change from Rafa Benitez just after they had scored. For me, I was a little bit surprised why Kennedy was brought off on 55 minutes when Palace scored. So Kennedy was taken off, Atsu was brought on, but just literally seconds before, Andre Mariner, well, his assistant, to be fair to Andre, that he give a penalty. Now, this is, you see these loads of times. Alan Shearer's already tweeted out saying if that happens 10 times on the pitch, there'll be 10 penalties. So Zaha crosses in. Clark's got a hold of Benteke's shirt. The assistant referee spots it, gives the penalty. It's harsh because we don't see many of them. We've seen Shelvey pull MacArthur's shirt later on in that second half, and that you got away with that one. But Miljovic, steps up. Darlow nearly saves it. He's unlucky, and it's 1-1. And then it was all Crystal Palace, to be fair. You know, you've seen Rafa bring off Diarmi for Hayden. He brought off Perez later on for Mikel Merino. Nothing ever materialised. We didn't have a recognised striker on the bench, but for me, didn't help matters. I think the only ever chance that we had in that second half was when Richie took the throw in and Atsu's tried to be clever and like clip it over Hennessy, but it was an onslaught from Palace. And you seen MacArthur have a chance. You seen Benteke's header was cleared off the line from Zaha's cross where Kieran Clark gets back on the line and clears it, and then he blocks it as well. So all in all, you're looking at that and you're thinking that's a point gain, 100% point gain for Newcastle, because we should have got beat there just on that performance. We were second best in most of the spells. For me, Dwight Gale was absolutely shocking. We didn't see him at all. And people criticise Hoslu, and ideally, funny enough, he would have been ideally to bring on second half just to hold the ball up to get midfield into play. Dwight Gale on the return to Selhurst Park would have been eager to do something. I thought he was really, really poor. Standout players, there wasn't massive amounts more. Diarmi again impressing in particular first half. I thought Yedlin did okay against Zaha. You know, I thought Dummett was kept Townsend quiet. Struggling to get names for you, but all in all, it's disappointing because a 2-goal win could have moved Newcastle up to 11th. You can see in the league table how tight it is now. You know, we got the point. It's a point away from relegation. I guess it's a positive. We should have been beaten. We picked up, because not many times Newcastle are second best and get something. So that's a positive. Of course, the negative is it was a poor performance. But you know, certain players didn't turn up. But you know, Rafa Benitez, I wonder what he makes of this. Rafa.
Yeah, I think that we did well in the first half. We were controlling the game against always. You have to analyze the opposition. Some people don't realize that. You see the 3 offensive players that they have today, how much they cost, how good they are, and then we were defending well. So credit to our players because they were doing well in defense, and at the same time we could score, and we had a couple of chances, and even the first counter attack in the second half that could change everything. So in football, it's the timing when you score, when you concede, also means a big difference.
So all he can do is now move on. That's Rafa's thoughts on that. Not everyone's over the moon. It's a draw, you know, down to London, but at least, you know, it's not a defeat, because earlier on the season we probably would have got beaten in that. At least we're averaging a point every game, and we've been nicknamed Newcastle now. So Man United ideally would have been nice, because we've got Man United coming up next weekend at St James's Park, but then again, Jose Mourinho's never won at St James's, so maybe we can keep that run going against Man United, because we don't know which Man United side turns up. They either blast you 4-5 or they'll struggle against the lower side. So we'll obviously focus on that later on in the week, but it is disappointing, you know, but the performance is what got to me. But if I know Newcastle play like that next week against Man United, play awfully and get a draw, you would take it. You really would. Next week's game, some people say it's a bonus game. I'm in that bracket. It's a bonus game. Some people are like, well, it's not, because you got to pick up points. But we've only picked up 2 points from the top 10. And Newcastle are mostly picking up their points from the lower end of the table. And this is another one. It's a point gained, whether you accept it or not. It is a point gained. At the start of the game, it's not, but afterwards it is. And we'll move on from it. That's all we can do, people. Let us know what you think. Cheers. Bye-bye.